Hello YouTube, it is the 19th of January, and I decided to make this video about something I'm extremely interested in, and that would be animals. For my entire life, I've always been really into wildlife. I used to live in a pretty small town back in 2009 that was pretty much surrounded by woods. We lived on, I think it was like, it wasn't really a mountain, but it was the side of a pretty large hill, and our neighbor used to be a farmer, and he used to own these Highland bulls that they would be right outside of our backyard. I mean, they had the fence, and it was a good, like, maybe 50 feet from our back door. And I remember as a kid, when I must have been about 7 years old, I would go out there and I would feed them apples. Most of them were really shy; they wouldn't really come up to you. But some of the older ones, they would be okay with coming up, and even some of them would even lick you. Funny story about that is I remember this one time. I think it was really early in the morning. I was supposed to be going to school at the time, and I remember looking out the window of our kitchen window, and I saw this baby calf with his horns stuck in between two trees. And I just remember having to go out there and in the rain and just sort of turn his head to the side so he could back out of between these two pine trees. And I just thought that was funny. The poor thing was absolutely terrified. I don't blame him. I'd be pretty scared too if I was stuck like that. That's coming from someone who's claustrophobic as well. I think the weirdest animal that ever came up on our lawn while I was living there, and you have to keep in mind that there was no body of water anywhere near us besides a little stream that we had. And I mean, it was like about a foot in width, and that's all we really had. There's no lakes, there's no ponds really. I mean, there was a bog, but that was about it. And I just remember early one morning, I heard this really loud slapping noise, followed by my dog at the time. I only had one back then, barking, and I just remember looking out the window, and I remember seeing this giant beaver just in our driveway. And you know, when beavers are scared, normally they'll slap their tails on the water, but this time it was cement. So it was actually pretty loud. I mean, it was raining pretty heavy out there, and we heard it from inside. I used to spend countless hours. I think this was before we even had a family computer, honestly. Way before I got into anything technical. I used to go outside, and I would just have a field day catching frogs, snakes. This may sound kind of bad. I don't want PETA on my ass, but I used to catch birds and squirrels too. I used to have like this little hamper that I would tie like blocks to, and then I would take a forked stick and I'd prop it up and I'd put some bird seed underneath it, and I would hide. I would take a string and I would hide in our back door, and every time a bird or a chipmunk came down, I always pull it, and the hamper would fall down, and I would have caught myself a chipmunk or a bird. And before anyone asks, yes, I always let them go. I would never dream of hurting an animal at all. Looking back on it, the whole practice was pretty stupid. I mean, I should never have done it. I think it's cruel in of itself. Unfortunately, where I live now, it's a very residential area. We don't see any wildlife here. It's quiet for the most part, but I really do miss living in the woods. And I hope to one day live there again somewhere. in regards to pets, I had a lot growing up. When I was a baby, I don't really remember them. My parents um, mostly told me about them. I used to have a wolf hybrid and a white cat named Sky. But as I was growing up, I had a orange tabby cat named Colonel. I know I understand it's a rather weird name. He was named after my grandfather, who was a sergeant colonel in World War II. And we also had Sheba, who was a golden retriever mix, big dog. I'll actually try and find a picture, and if I do find one, I'll put it up right here, and you can see just how big she was. She had the nickname Bear, literally. And then we got German Shepherd named Susie, who was a rescue dog. She was abused growing up. I believe the owners who had her before us used to chain her up to the back of a pickup truck, extremely close. All she could do was lay down, get back up. Really horrible treatment of a dog. She was probably the sweetest dog you would have ever met. I mean, she was just a big baby, really. I think a lot of the time, I think she thought she was a cat. Of course, I think she grew up around a lot of cats because she would lick herself like one. And right now, just recently, November, I picked up a small little silver tabby cat named Floki, and he's with me somewhere. He's probably in the other room. He's a bit hard to catch when he doesn't want to be seen. So far, he's really proven to be a great cat. I've enjoyed watching him. He actually has like this little string he'll bring around the house, and he'll like bring it into bed with me for some reason. It's just this little toy that I bought him online, but he really seems to enjoy it. And but unfortunately, I can't have dogs here, and that is I'm more of a dog person. I always have been. A big dog person too. Even if I could have one, unfortunately, I probably wouldn't, because there isn't a lot of room here. I mean, this apartment's only 3 rooms, and we don't have really any lawn outside or anything like that. So fortunately, I have to wait for that. Maybe someday when I get a house or a place with a bigger yard, I will be able to get a dog again. I really want a Newfoundland or a Saint Bernard. One of those dogs would be amazing. I would love to try wolf hybrid again, but I heard that they can be pretty unpredictable for dogs, depending on how they were raised, or I think it has a lot to do with the breed, probably. But that's all I really had for you guys today. So have a good one.